Super Mario Maker Podcast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. This is episode 2. That music you just heard was from Rich Ad EB. I got a link to the full video in the show notes, guys. Go check it out. It is so good. So good. The guy makes some incredible music. As far as announcements go, join the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. Join the subreddit, n64josh.com/r, and join the Facebook group, n64josh.com/Facebook group. Wherever you like to hang out online, hopefully it's one of those 3 places, and I can connect with you that way. You know, we're going to be able to submit levels, things like that. Those are going to be the 3 main places that'll be the kind of the hub for this show. So that is going to do it for the announcements. We're going to move right on in to the talking points, which is just going to be a breakdown of the Direct. All right. Well, we had a Super Mario Maker 2 Direct, and there was all kinds of good stuff. I'm going to get through this stuff as quickly as possible, but there's a lot here. So what is new in Super Mario Maker 2? Well, first and foremost, slopes. We finally get slopes. Now, you know, you might be thinking, it's just slopes, right? So what? Well, the thing is, you can actually modify the way the player interacts with your level more than just having them slide down a hill. I was watching some Super Mario 3, and some of the levels, depending on, like, you know, the kind of jump you need to make, they just angle or put a slope in that you can then make the jump just to lower the platform a little bit. So it's going to be more than just having the ability to slide down and hit enemies. Like, this is going to help create some pretty cool levels, as well as we get later on into this breakdown. The new style, Mario 3D World, features a cart which will be able to drive all over the place. Like, I'm really excited to see what some of this stuff has to offer. So slopes finally making their way, and I know it's one of the most requested items from the Mario Maker community for the first game. It never happened, so it's nice we see it in Mario Maker 2. Next up, we have the Angry Sun making a return from Super Mario Bros. 3. You get this thing chasing you throughout the entire level. It's just another enemy you have to constantly just watch out for, because he doesn't mess around. He's pretty angry. Not sure why, but he's an Angry Sun, so watch out for him. We got snake blocks being added, which were cool in, like, Super Mario World, where they, you know, in some cases, depending on where you looked, you changed the direction. It looks like in this game we're going to be setting the direction they go in the editor, not after the fact. It's not going to be entirely like Super Mario World. At least that's what it looks like. We have the seesaw, which is cool. You know, you got Mario moving up and down, left or, like, depending on if he's on the left side or the right side, things like that. You could put some different enemies on. I wonder what the physics will be like. If you'll have people, like, if a thwomp hits a seesaw, could you launch Mario into the air? Could you launch another enemy into the air? You know, maybe it sends a thwomp. You put a thwomp on each side. I don't know. It's going to be fun to explore this and find out exactly what we can do with these things. You also see them on tracks, so that's another element there. Pretty cool. We have the on-off switch. We have the swinging claw, which looks like you could create like a claw game, things like that. It's going to be amazing to see what the community comes up with. The on-off switch is going to be great for, you know, opening a pathway, closing a pathway, that kind of stuff. It's going to be great for the puzzle levels. You have water levels now, which is great. Kind of like, you know, back in Super Mario 3, I remember when it was finally got the frog suit, and you had those levels that were half water, half land, and being in the frog suit, you could swim much easier. Are we going to see any power-up items like the frog suit? I don't know. We haven't yet, but, you know, fingers crossed we can see more of those items make their way in. You have custom scroll now. You have vertical scroll for sub areas, which is cool. You also have scroll stop, which is nice. The Bonsai Bill is now going to be in the game. I'm sure if you've seen, you can even see if you're watching here in my overlay, you can see a Bonsai Bill coming at the screen. So there'll be a cool addition. The Dry Bone Shell, which is kind of like the reverse Shelmet. It's almost like like shell boots or something. I don't know. You put it on, you can then press down and basically play dead. You just become a pile of bones, similar to like the Tanuki Mario in Mario 3, where you would turn into a statue. Could we see Tanuki Mario? Maybe. Who knows? Fingers crossed yet again. You've got big coins, which are great because now that they have clear conditions, there's going to be a reason to collect coins. They're going to be more than just for using as an indicator of where somebody should go, things like that. There's going to be a reason to collect coins now. So having those big coins could be, it could be the difference between beating the level or not beating the level. So it's cool that they're going to make their way in there. We have tons of new sound effects. You've got co-op making, which is pretty cool. You can both get on a Joy-Con and create levels. And from the looks of it, I was checking out a Game Explain video. It looks like they also have you don't necessarily share the same menu and everything. Player 2 gets their own little sub menu so that they can be creating their own stuff, and you're not kind of sharing. It looks like it's actually pretty intuitive and not real cumbersome. Hopefully that is the case. We have, like I said, clear conditions, which are great. Collect 100 coins to complete, kill X amount of enemies. And it looked like there were quite a few variants to this. So that's kind of cool because, it adds another layer of what to do to complete a level. It's not just get to the flag. There may be hidden coins in blocks, things like that. Things that, for the most part, I really just see it making coins a little more valuable. So that's cool, or power-ups, things like that. And it may give you the reason to explore levels a little bit more, which gives creators more reason to create levels that are worth exploring. So good stuff there. You have Twister making its way back from Super Mario 3. I think the Twister and the Angry Sun, I think they were only in the same level in level 2-1 or 2-3 or 2-2 or something. I can't remember exactly, but they're here. So let's see what we come up with. We got icicles for the first time, diagonal conveyor belts. You got Red Yoshi throwing fireballs. Wonder if we'll see blue or yellow. They've only shown red so far. You got the parachute, which you can attach to a number of things, so enemies float down, or items, whatever the case may be. You've got Boom Boom, so now we can have, more than just like Bowser Jr. or whatever, as far as just like a mini boss or maybe a mid-stage boss, things like that. And then you have the Moon, and the Moon does some interesting things that we will talk about a little bit later on. Moving right along into the Direct, they talked about Super Mario Maker 2 story mode. Okay, so clear courses, earn coins to rebuild Peach's castle. The story mode will have over 100 Nintendo created levels. I love this. This was out of left field. This was not something I expected, really. To have a story mode in Mario Maker. I mean, when I played Super Mario Maker on the 2DS, they really encouraged you to play like the I can't remember, it was like the Mario Challenge, I think is what they called it. And what I found out recently, that's the only thing you can play offline other than creating your own stages. I was kind of shocked by this. So having an actual story mode, building her castle, I think it's great. Bring it on. That's amazing. Over 100 Nintendo created levels. Yes, please. That's a ton of content right there. That is a ton of content on top of all the other levels we're going to see anyway. 100 Nintendo created levels. Use those, guys. Use these levels when you do story mode. Pay attention. Look for inspiration when you create your levels in the story mode. There's gonna be some killer stuff in there. I guarantee you. So look for ways that you can maybe create something or add to something, or let it inspire you. We got new course themes. Super Mario Maker 2 has some new course themes. We have desert, we have snow, we have forest, we have sky, we have new music from Koji Kondo. So exciting. He has been with the series since it began in 1983. I believe that's when he first started working on it. That's exciting. It's really cool. Okay, let's talk about the moon now. The moon will clear enemies if touched. It will change the level depending on the theme. So, the ground theme, Goombas are going to float. The underground theme is upside down. The ghost house will be dark. So you know how the ghost house were in some cases where there was no lights except for just a little light around Mario? That's what's going to happen when it's the night version, if you will. Okay, the sky level will have reduced gravity. The desert will have a sandstorm. Now, this is very similar to the Lost Levels where wind was introduced. And in some cases, you had to jump with the wind in order to make a certain jump because it was out of reach. Without the wind pushing Mario, you couldn't make it. And there were other cases you had to wait for the wind to die down so that you could make a jump. So there's some timing and things that have to happen there. So is this going to be random? I'm kind of curious how this will play out. But again, a real cool feature. Snow levels will become ice. Anytime I think of Mario and ice, I personally always think of Super Mario Brothers 2. And just some of those levels were crazy. I probably died more in those ice levels than any other levels in Super Mario Brothers 2. So we'll see just quite, how slick is it going to be? That's really the question. Forest water is going to turn purple and become deadly. I remember that from New Super Mario Bros. U, especially. That was something you wanted to watch out for, and of course you saw that in Odyssey and some other Mario games as well. So watch out for that. But really cool that we're going to see more. Not only do we see new themes, but a handful of the themes are basically like a 2-for-1 deal, right? The moon or changing it to night really kind of mixes things up. And man, I'm just curious, like trying to play some of the underground levels completely upside down. Oh, but that's gonna throw me for a loop. I guarantee it. So really cool to see some of this stuff. This feels like there's a lot here, and it gets even better when we talk about the Super Mario 3D World theme. Okay, we're going to have Cat Mario. We're going to have clear pipes that you and enemies can use. You're going to have crates that you can throw to create your own path. So it may be the kind of thing that you see a pile of crates and you're like, oh, I'm going to butt drop this and destroy it. And then you realize, oh, I needed those to build my own bridge to get through this lava, or whatever is the case. So beware, don't always destroy the crates. You might need them. We're going to have warp boxes, which is also pretty cool. And I'm curious how those will work. Like, can we set up bosses in those? What is there going to be like requirements for clearing the rooms that a warp box takes you to? Is it just like a pipe? I don't know. I'm curious to see what they made it sound like. It was they'll take you to a tougher area. So I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm excited to see. We have the spike block, which could really be interesting as far as just trying to get, especially, you mix the spike block in with the desert sandstorm, you could be in a world of hurt. So could be some real tricky and tough courses with those two in the mix. Exclamation point block, which is kind of like the snake block. It looks like you can set it to where it goes, and if you do like the butt drop on it or whatever, the ground pound, it creates its shape like almost instantly. So it's kind of cool. You've also got blinking blocks that they're gonna fade in and out, which is that's gonna make for some crazy courses as well. You've got track blocks. You've got mushroom trampoline, which is pretty cool. They're just giant mushrooms that you can bounce on. The piranha creeper, just a little added challenge to make sure you stay out of the way of that thing. The skip squeak, little mouse, new enemy. The Koopa Troopa car. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you add slopes into this, and there's going to be some killer speedrun levels where we're going to be flying as fast as we can in this the Koopa Troopa car. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. You got Charvar, which is like a lava dragon that just goes in and out of the lava. He's going to make for some tough courses, I'm sure, because he's not small. He's a relatively large enemy. You got Pom Pom, which looks like she can turn into multiple like variations of herself, and you don't know which one's the real one. So that's kind of fun for some mid-level, like mid-stage boss fights, or even just as a boss fight. Make sure you hit the correct one. Bonsai Bill, which does more than just fly towards Mario. Now they can be like in the foreground, background, and fly towards the screen, and that's going to make for some interesting level design as well. So much here. And then lastly, a few things that I just wanted to point out that weren't really mentioned but just kind of shown off is the fact that, like, well, one, you're going to see Cat Bowser in the 3D World theme, which I think is great. Love Cat Bowser. Fun little side note with Cat Bowser. My daughter was 6 when 3D World came out, and it was the first Mario game that she sat and played all the way through by herself. She loved it, and she couldn't complete the final boss and was like, "Dad, can you help me beat Cat Bowser?" And we sat down together and completed that game, and that was the first game that she had ever completed. And she loves that game to this day. And when I got it from GameStop, they gave me some Mario 3D World cat ears. They were these little, like a blue headband that had little cat ears on it, and then a pin for Mario 3D World. She would wear those things all the time. I think the pin eventually came apart. She wore it out. She loved them so much. So 3D World has a special place in my heart, so I'm really excited to see it make its way into Super Mario Maker 2. A few other things worth noting. I don't have them in my notes here, but just one other thing. We've seen hints or kind of leaks, and you could tell by some of the costumes that the Ice Flower is going to make its way into Super Mario Maker 2, which is cool because it freezes the enemies, it turns them into ice blocks. So that has another factor of maybe trying to, make some different jumps or things like that. I'm excited to see how that works out. As far as, there's a course world now, okay? This is some of the like really, really exciting stuff here. We got new filters for more refined searches, which is great because if you want auto scrollers, you can go look for them. If you don't check that box, right? And hopefully these filters work good. Hopefully they work better than they did in Smash Bros, right? Where it was kind of like I set my game up to play like this, and sometimes it just didn't work. So hopefully these filters work. You can set up to the levels you want. If you want a puzzle level, if when you create a level, you can actually set it for a multiplayer level if that's what you've designed it towards, thinking of 4 people playing at once. So really cool. This is a feature that is much needed. Another thing worth noting, I don't have in the notes here, but there is a next to the like button is a broken heart that says boo. Right, so you can actually boo the course if you dislike it, right? And so hopefully this kind of stuff really encourages people to create levels that are worth playing. I know there's going to be some younger kids and things like that probably just put a lot of garbage together, right? Not that little kids can't. There's going to be some that create some amazing levels, I'm sure, but there, hopefully with this filter system and the ability to boo stuff, it'll keep it'll allow the cream to rise, right? That's really the hope. So hopefully that will be the case. You can download courses and take them with you on the go if you're not connected to Wi-Fi. You have a maker profile where you are going to earn points. There is the ability to customize your Mii. You have an endless challenge mode, which is going to give you the ability to, play on the difficulty that you prefer. You've got leaderboards, network play, versus mode, co-op mode, and local multiplayer. So really cool stuff. Being able to play this game with 4 people was way out of left field. Did not expect that to be a thing whatsoever. versus and co-op. This is awesome. Like, this is really great, and hopefully we're able to play with friends, and it's going to work the way we kind of all hope it will, that it's not just always going to be with randoms. Having local multiplayer is great also. If you got 4 switches with 4 copies of the game, one person has to be connected but to online, but other than that, you can all 4 play together in the same room, which makes for some fun. I mean, when I've played co-op Super Mario Bros. U or New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii, things like that. Like, speaking of my daughters, every time I would come home from work, they would hand me a Wii remote and be like, "All right, Dad, we're playing the first level of Super Mario Bros. Wii," and that's the only level they wanted to play. And I finally drug them through almost the entire game. I made it to World 8. We never did complete it, because they would just be like, "These are too hard, Dad. We can't do these." They were so little at the time, and so I'm excited to see a co-op mode. I'm hoping I can get them excited about it as well, and playing with me. So fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. But then, yeah, like I said too, if you're creating levels with multiplayer in mind, make sure to use the multiplayer tag on your created courses. Okay, and the last thing from the Direct here is Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019. June 8th, 4 competitors will compete against each other on levels created by Nintendo Treehouse. So this could be pretty exciting. We don't know who's been invited yet. We're still waiting to hear that. And it's kind of interesting, like, you know, is Nintendo anticipating Super Mario Maker becoming like an esport? Is that what we're seeing here? Because it's being played the same day as like Splatoon and Smash. So, I mean, who knows? The more support this game gets, the better. I honestly believe this game is going to be huge. It's probably going to be one of Nintendo's biggest games, especially for platforms like Twitch and YouTube, things like that. I think it's going to... I'm not sure exactly the sales numbers, but I think you're going to have a lot of people that are really interested in this game and will be tuning into a lot of Twitch streams and things like that. So good on Nintendo for creating a competition with this game and really just hopefully getting people psyched about it. And hopefully this is something that, like, you know, maybe we can do local tournaments or local, competitions, things like that, or like even just online, just like, you know, who knows? I don't know what to expect from this, but I'm very hopeful that this is something that maybe we as a community can get involved in and have our own little competitions. That's really what I would love to see. So, all in all, I'm really, really excited for Super Mario Maker 2. I think the Direct was amazing. I honestly was kind of shocked that we saw Direct. I thought we were going to end up seeing more stuff at E3, and I'm sure we're still going to see some more. And the next episode, episode 3, is going to be some speculation, right? Because if you remember when they showed Super Mario 3D World for the new theme, they didn't show, it looked like it said Styles, right? As if maybe there was still one they have yet to reveal. Who knows what that could be? That's the kind of stuff we're going to talk about in the next episode. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. Remember to connect with me on Twitter at N64Josh. I'm also on Instagram at N64Josh. And if you want to catch a Twitch stream, it's twitch.tv/N64Josh. I really do appreciate you guys listening. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like button and give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get this thing out to, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify. I'm working on getting it everywhere. It's just it takes a little bit of time getting approval. But thanks again, guys. We'll see you later.